We are love, we are joy, we are freedom, we belong. We are love, we are joy, we are freedom, and we belong. We are love, we are joy, we are freedom, we belong. We are love, we are joy, we are freedom, we belong. We are love, we are joy, we are freedom, we belong.
There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See when new eyes allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love and welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here, and you are welcome here. And breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's around you, and all that you feel, and all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, 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 when we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite.
Good morning. My name's Diana Johnson. I proudly serve the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta as a licensed practitioner. Please join with me as we do the call and response. How I choose to think creates my personal experience. Therefore, I choose to think affirmatively. I choose to speak affirmatively. I choose to live affirmatively. Not only is this my right, it is my responsibility as a conscious being. I allow myself to be guided, used, and available for the reawakening of everyone's magnificence. The moment is now, and I say yes. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Good morning, Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Hello from Atlanta. I know we have many people joining us this morning from around the country. I'm so honored to have you with us. Will you tell us where you're from? I see Chicago. I see Imperial Beach, California. So we're so honored that you are here with us. I'm a religious science practitioner and director of creative arts, celebrating so much today. To be with you is the primary celebration, and also to be sharing this with you along with our extended community around the country. I want to give you a few announcements this morning. And first of all, I want to thank those of us who volunteered yesterday in service for Live on the Drive. It was a success. We were celebrating in the parking lot with CJ the DJ and, making our special moves, moving and grooving. And it was so great. We had so many great workshops and a lot to celebrate. That's the theme of my morning here, celebrating with you. Let me share with you a few announcements, ways to give. You can text, and we're so grateful that you share your gratitude with us. We're grateful for you and exchanging your gratitude with us. You can text or go online to our website, and you see the number there, 404-800-9467, or go onto our website, slca.com donations, and we appreciate you so much sharing with us your gratitude. Today we have a meeting, Women in Truth, that's meeting after service today, and it's a Zoom connection, so you can connect with Reverend Ursula Lentini, and we have information about how you can connect with us. That meeting is following services this morning. And with open arms today, that's the theme of that. I love that. Thank you so much, Shannon. Lunch and Learn will be coming up this Tuesday night, or this Tuesday, during the morning hours at 11:30 in the morning. The title of this is Continuing Reducing Stress and Inside Job, and I've been on that the first two Tuesdays of the month. I was sharing in that Lunch and Learn with Greta Counts, and it was fabulous. And I just love it so much. She's such a great facilitator and has so many certifications from the Hay House to religious science teachings, so much wisdom to share and impart with us. And I find it's just a practical, useful tool, her wisdom that she imparts with us every Tuesday through March. So please come and join us this Tuesday and the following Tuesday at 11:30 in the morning. It's a Zoom connection, and you can sign up through our Breeze, which is our online way to sign up. Okay. And Tuesday night, Twin Hearts Meditation with Reverend Ursula Lentini every Tuesday evening at 7. A fabulous deep dive with Ursula. And our town hall meeting is also, well, let me tell you first about Thursday. We have writers group. So this is ongoing throughout the year. Our writers group is coming up this Thursday night. And that's being hosted by Kathy Ellis. And a number of our community are finding it just an enriching way to engage and identify ways to connect through our writing. And it's just been so beautiful. And it's just ongoing, and we just find it very uplifting. So I invite you to join with us as we celebrate some of the journal writings, and some of people are writing novels and being published as authors. So we have a breadth of people to share their wisdom with you. So please join us this Thursday at 7, and we meet once a month, usually the last Thursday. We do have a town hall meeting coming up for pledgers. We invite you to join with us. It's going to be a Zoom. We need you to sign up for that. That will give you more information that you need to know. That's taking place next Sunday following services at 12:30, the 28th. We invite you to join us, and please sign up so that we can send you that link and you can find out all things SLCA at that time. We invite you also to connect with practitioners this morning. They're available in the chat to identify them to you. If you have a need, if you have a special need that you would like to pray about, please, or a celebration, please connect with our practitioners and they will send you a private message and connect with you following service this morning. Welcome to SLCA, everyone.
What if we loved each other? What if we lived as one? What if we took a stand to get along? Well, it's easier said than done. What's to talk about? We can do to work it out. Can we forgive each other? Now's the time for love. Now's the time for love. Now's the time. Whoa, yeah, now's the time for love. Whoa, whoa, say, can you see? Hate will never make peace. When children die and leaders lie, suddenly we all bleed. Now's the time for us to talk about what we can do to work it out. Can we love one another? Now's the time for love. Now the time for us to work. Ooh yeah, now's the time. Now's the time. We can talk, but let's try hard to walk the walk. Be love. We got to be love. Hey, yeah, yeah. Now's the time.
That was awesome. Who's having fun? I know I am. This is such a wonderful community. Now's the time to do our treatment, which is a prayer of affirmation, a changing, moving up, upgrading our energy and our vibration. I invite you to uncross your arms and legs and just to relax your whole body. I will say things in the first person, so take these words as your own if you wish. The one universe that is a consciousness and it has an intelligence has also the vibration of love. Feel the love. That's why we can't describe it. It's so immense. Love is ours. It vibrates through us. It gives us the gift of life. I am inseparable from this love. It can exist without me, but I cannot exist without it. It beats my heart and breathes my lungs. So when the ego surrenders to that love, more and more joy, peace, harmony, clarity comes in. And today's theme is opening up our arms. And when we open our arms, guess what our heart does? It stretches like the spring that we're in. Let me be a spring within myself. Let me spring forward into my own magnificence. I'm here on purpose. And one of the reasons I'm here is to love, to be intelligent, to be powerful. Those are the qualities of the divine nature that runs through us, our animating force. Feel that love. Just breathe it in, and as you release it, let it flow through your body. Again, love, inhaling love, and becoming love, knowing love, understanding love, accepting love, and then expressing love. It's that simple. So we take our bloated nothingness, that ego that just won't be quiet, and we say, "Mwah, I love you." Now calm down. I've got this because I've got that spirit. Any issues can dissolve when we align with our true self. Feel that. And in gratitude, that's a feeling. In peace, that's a feeling. In acceptance, these are the feelings that go with the thoughts. It's the creative process. Thought and feeling creates a new vibration. So feel that love for yourself, for the world, for mankind, for this center, for all of your favorite things that bring you joy. Focus on that. And we release this into the consciousness in full faith. And say with me, and so it is.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. Through me. Thank you, Reverend Ursula, for that beautiful prayer. I want to let you know that our inspirational message this morning is coming to us from Reverend Raymont Anderson in Baltimore. He is the spiritual leader and senior minister at Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. His teachings are inclusive, they're grounded in spiritual principles of harmony, unity, and oneness. And he has served with Reverend David Alexander in raising consciousness among communities nationwide, growing consciousness and goodness from the inside out. And Thursday, March 25th, is his birthday. So we want to wish him a happy birthday. He is a lifelong learner with a passion for self development, personal transformation. And his mission, I love this. His mission focuses on authenticity, compassion, transparency, inspiration, vibrancy, and empowerment. And he chooses those words very carefully. And he is a Renaissance man. Please welcome the one, the only Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Blessings.
I am honored. So I don't know if I should start off with, did you just put my birthday out there? But so let us start with, first of all, I'm extremely grateful. Thank you, Reverend Dr. David Alexander, for opening your center for me to once again speak. Thank you, Penelope and Reverend Ursula and John and Ty, and of course, Shannon, for holding things down in the main place where things happen. So thank you all. You are my SLCA family. Looking forward to when I can be with you live and in person once again. So we breathe because today I'm sort of shifting my focus on what we're going to talk about. I feel that it's more grounded to talk about where I am today and where we are, but more importantly, where we could be. So we begin by asking the question of, in this realm of being open, with open arms, we start with asking questions, because to ask a question means you must be open to whatever the answer is going to be, right? Otherwise, why else ask? It's not, hey, Bill, how's it going? How are you? Wait a minute, I asked you a question. You didn't answer my question, right? If we're going to ask someone, how are you? Then we must be open to receive the question and the answer. So let us open to the question of what beliefs, ideas, and actions must we embrace, embody, and become, in other words, express, in order to live the vision of a world that works for all, where we are living in conscious alignment with spirit. Pause and breathe. I feel like I should do David Alexander. So pause and breathe. Because we can't do that. We cannot live in that space of alignment. We cannot live in that space of truly diving into a world that works for all if we are refusing to realize what this vision is, but if we are, in other words, being open to its opposite. Pause. Because we have to ask, what am I open to? Because we refer to things, someone's closed off. Yeah, you're closed off, but you're open to whatever the other thing is. For example, if I am not open to being in a relationship, then it means I am open to being single. I'm closed when it comes to being in a relationship, but because what we are is spirit, and spirit is always open, like we always talk about the law being equated with, rich and fertile soil, that when you plant seeds, the soil doesn't say, excuse me, we're not doing carrots this year. The soil says yes. So spirit says yes. If spirit is what we are in individualized human form, then the essence of who and what we are is that sacred yes. So the question is then, what am I actually saying yes to? What beliefs, what ideas? Because either way it goes, I am embracing, I am embodying, I am becoming, and I am expressing something. It's not possible to not. It's not possible. When we say someone, they're apathetic, they're lazy. You don't do anything. You just sit around. That's a verb. They're not doing anything. Yes, they are. They're sitting. But they're not helping. Well, that's a different verb. They are doing something. We are always engaged. Question is, what are we engaged in? What are we bringing into this power and presence? Speaking of verbs, let's talk about these ideas of embracing, embodying, expressing, becoming, and being. All of them are verbs. We do say treat and, note the and, treat and, oh, there's a verb that follows that. Move your feet. So we are beings of action. Sitting in meditation, great. Doing a treatment, great. Contemplation, great. Reading, great. All of these things are great. But if we are not also moving forward in action, then we are doing the meditate. There's an option to do this, like as the meditative mantra, mudra of meditation, or it's this one. Yeah, this is the mudra of, yeah, I'd rather not act on. I'm comfortable and safe with simply sequestering myself away to read Ernest Holmes and meditate and listen to Penelope's amazing music. I'm okay. But no. If you are God in human form, spirit individualizing itself, then you are called automatically by your birth to be in action. So let's go. To embrace, the verb, means to hold closely in one's arms. It is a sign of affection, but it also means to seize, as in carpe diem, seize the day. It also means to enfold or to envelop, right? It also means to accept or support, as in a belief, a theory, or something. It means to willingly and enthusiastically to accept this, to welcome it, to adopt it, to champion and to espouse. That's embrace. Okay. Embody, also a verb. To be an expression of, or to give a tangible and or visible form to an idea, a quality, a feeling, an attribute. To give physical form to an idea. When we embody truth, we become the physical demonstration of truth. When we embody love, we become the physical demonstration of love on earth. Okay? Which moves us into express, which means to convey a thought or feeling in words or in actions by how we conduct ourselves. Okay? To become means simply to begin to be. Okay, that's confusing in and of itself. To begin to become, to be, to wait, huh? So what's what now? But to be means to exist. To exist, to occur, to take place. So if what we are talking about is embracing this vision and embodying truth and love and light and joy and our spiritual magnificence, then it means to exist, that which God is, love itself, light, joy, power, and presence, is occurring right now where and who we are. Every thought that we think, every belief that we have is, whether we know it or not, is showing up in, through, and as us. See, we don't exist in a vacuum. We are the living embodiment of. So everything we think, everything we say, everything we are doing is a demonstration, is an expression of our deeply held beliefs, thoughts, worries, doubts, fears, etc. Pause and breathe. And in honor of Reverend Dr. David Alexander, pause and breathe, folks. So let me ask you a question. Can you accept something that you don't even know that you're consciously accepting? Like, can you take on something without even consciously knowing? And you may say no, or you may say yes. But suppose you get on and suppose you're sitting on a park bench. You're chilling there and you're reading. And you see a jogger run by and they stop in front of you to retie their shoes. And you pause and, you go back to your book and they go about their business. And then you catch yourself humming a Madonna song. I'm not going to do it. But you catch yourself humming a Madonna song. And then you're like, because I'm distracted now. I'm singing in my mind. I'm trying to read this Ernest Holmes book, Love and Law. Why am I singing Madonna in my head? Then you remember their Walkman. Yeah, I went back to Walkman. Their Walkman was playing so loud that you could hear it, because you even thought to yourself, wow, they're going to damage their eardrums. And you heard the music that they were listening to, but you didn't consciously say, oh, I just love that Madonna song, and start singing it and dancing to it. But you caught it on the subconscious. They're gone, but you still have it. Think about how many other thought forms, beliefs, etc., that we adopt in that same kind of manner that we don't even realize that we're doing. We're sitting at the dinner table at 5 years old, and we're just, eating whatever we're eating, and we hear an uncle or an aunt talking about how difficult it is to make money. Money doesn't grow on trees. You got to earn it by the sweat of your brow. I have to rob Peter to pay Paul. You're 5 years old. You ain't thinking, I ain't got checks. I ain't got bills. I ain't got nothing except for my bowl of Lucky Charms. I'm just eating my cereal. But you're hearing it. You're receiving it. And if you're not mindful, you embody it unconsciously and don't even realize it. But let's think about this though, because here we are today, grown adults. And if I ask you, do you eat everything that comes before you? No, we are selective in what we eat. When we're babies, because we talk about babies, they put everything in their mouth. They put their toes in their mouth. They put the dog thing in the mouth. They just put it because they're exploring. They're not consciously saying, oh, Sparky's eating, I don't know what that is, but I want to taste it. Sparky, give me that dog treat. They're not consciously thinking that. They're exploring. But we're adults. And as you go from being a child, we went through the sticker, the Mr. Yuck thing that reminded children, don't eat this. Don't put this in your mouth. And here we are as adults, and we are very selective in what we eat. Some people go very selective in that they're vegan or they're pescatarian or they're very selective. They don't do, gluten, or very selective. But are we selective in the same way with the thoughts we think in our belief systems? Because we don't equate. There are certain foods that nourish, and then there are certain things that are toxic. Certain mushrooms are great in a salad. Other mushrooms are not so great because they're poisonous. We understand that. But when it comes to thinking, when it comes to beliefs, when it comes to other forms of consciousness and what's going on, we may not recognize or realize. For example, how many times have we ourselves said it or heard someone else say it in referencing the cosmic 2x4? We reference it as, whenever I'm not doing what God wants me to do, the cosmic 2x4 of the universe is always right there to knock me back in place. I hear you, but do you recognize that that is an anthropomorphic idea of God still? You're not calling it by the same Judeo-Christian Abrahamic tradition concept of God, an angry white man on a throne throwing lightning and destroying cities, etc. You're not referencing as that, but you're still referencing it as a force outside of you, judging if you are doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And when doing the wrong thing, it is there to knock you back in place. That's anthropomorphic deity. That's still, while it is a more new thought languaging, it's still an old paradigm or as we heard Jesus, Yeshua say in the Bible, what you're doing is putting new wine in old skins. It's still, right? If you're going to make, or old wine in old skins, right? If you're going to have whatever it is, a new thought, put it in a new wine skin. If it's an old thought that serves you, it still needs to go in a new wineskin. Either way it goes, it needs to be refreshed. It needs to be new. But if we don't do the work, if we don't sit with ourselves and do the introspective work, in other words, if we don't do a kind of tune-up, because we go to the doctor for a checkup is a tune-up. We go to the dentist for a tune-up, a checkup. We go to whatever physical, same thing we do with our cars, our phones. We take them in for a tune-up, a checkup, an upgrade. When do we do it for real? When do we do the same for ourselves with consciousness? When do we really sit with the idea of, what am I still thinking? What am I holding on to that really is not serving me? When do we really do the work of, why do I even have this thought? Where did this thought come from? I was, for example, in referencing the atrocity that recently happened in Atlanta, referencing hate crimes against Asian Americans and Asians in general. I had a conversation with a very good friend, a brother from another mother recently, and we were talking about stereotypes, etc. And I referenced the conversation that I had with somebody who grew up in the Mr. Miyagi Karate Kid era, who heard Pat Morita talking on the Karate Kid and assumed that that's how Pat Morita talked. Till they heard him in an interview or a stand-up comedy thing and thought, oh, wow, he's really good at doing an English or American accent. They assumed that the accent that Mr. Miyagi was speaking, the manner in which he was speaking, they assumed that that was because he's Japanese. Clearly, that's how Japanese people speak. Until afterwards, and then it was like, well, wait, I have to break down the paradigm of, where did this stereotypical representation of other come into my mind? Because if we don't examine it, if we don't break it down, then we carry it. And if we're carrying it, then it's showing up in, through, and as us. It can't help but to show up. So when we believe that God wants us to do this thing versus that, then that's an external anthropomorphic God where we are not recognizing and realizing that there is only one mind, and that mind is God, and the mind that I use and the mind that you use is the same mind. When I separate it as if there is a separate mind that wants me to do something else, then I'm anthropomorphizing God. I am separating God. Lack and scarcity then seep in. When I see someone as other, scarcity. When I still have stereotypes or implicit or explicit biases that I'm not even aware of per se, because I'm going to say, but I'm not like that. I don't burn crosses. I'm different. Well, I don't use racial slurs. I'm different. Yes, granted. But are there other ways that that might be showing up, where you don't even realize that you're humming the Madonna song that someone deposited in your mind, in your consciousness, in your being when you were 5 years old, that you don't even realize is still there? It's the work that we must go through in order to not only be open at the top, we must also be open at the bottom. A tree is open at the top where the branches reach toward the sun, but the roots are also open at the bottom to pull the nutrients from the ground up. We must be open to all of the aspects of ourselves, the aspects we like about ourselves and the aspects we don't like about ourselves. Because until we are ready to confront that within ourselves, we are open to the other thing. If I am not open to what I need to do, the work I need to do, the work I am called to do to eradicate white supremacist, capitalistic, patriarchal delusion, if I'm not open to eliminating and eradicating that, then I am open to the ways that it shows up in the world. I can deny it, but if I'm not actively, remember all of those words, becoming, being, expressing, embracing, embodying, they're all verbs. See, we often talk about faith as if faith is something you have. Faith is not something we have. Faith has us. God does not have faith. God does not need faith. God knows. And that knowing shows up as our embodiment of faith. Faith without works is dead. Faith is the way we move and act upon what we believe, what we are embodying, what we are knowing about ourselves and about God. Because even when we project something at another person, namaste, we say it, namaste, that which is the divine in me sees and acknowledges itself in you. That means everyone is God. Ram Dass said, everyone is God in drag. Everyone is God, even those people we don't like. What is the work that I am called to do? If it's going to be a world that works for all as the vision, then I am called to do my individual tune-up, my individual exploration, my individual extraction of. It's like doing spiritual archaeology. I need to go and dig and dig and dig and find the fossils of the 3-year-old me, the 10-year-old me, the traumatized 15-year-old me. They're still there, buried under the surface. And until I extract them, they're operating. So I need to extract it. I need to do a tune-up. I need to de-virus the system, debug the system, find the malware in my consciousness. Because until I do, I'm open to it. I'm open to bias, stereotypes. I'm open to judgment. I'm open to fear. I'm open to doubt. I doubt. Ernest Holmes said, there is a power for good in the universe and you can use it. Yeah, but that applies to Shannon. Shannon can use it. Penelope can use it. Reverend Ursula can use it. I can't. I'm not good enough. Do we doubt? And we know that there are times like I want to go to practitioner training. I want to be a practitioner, but do I have what it takes? Not based upon my work schedule, my schedule. I may have to tweak a few things. Not that question. Do I have what it takes? Can I ever become this thing I want to become? Can we truly ever have a world that works for all? Because this all means the racists too. No, it doesn't. A world that works for all means that we have awakened humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And that means those who do not know their own divinity are awakened to it. And when all are awakened to their spiritual magnificence, then we are ushering in this new world, this new consciousness, this evolutionary move in the direction of life, affirmingness, and love. Are we open to it? Am I doing the work I need to do to move in that direction? Am I affirming the paradigm of lack, scarcity, death, destruction, etc.? Speaking of death, let's go here for a moment. So my mother made her transition last year, 2020, on Father's Day. And when folks found out, because I sort of chronicled it on Facebook, I got people, and I understand it's not a judgment of what people said. People said, Reverend Ray, my condolences on your loss. Your mother's in a better place. She's not suffering anymore, et cetera, et cetera. You get where I'm going. What's lost? Now, I understand right here, right now, I may be feeling the grief of she's lost, but ultimately, there is nothing outside of God. So I know right where she is. Life after life, the next plane of existence. whatever is the continuation of spirit that is eternal, infinite, and ever expanding consciousness. She's not lost. She's in a better place. There's only God. So every place is the very place of God. There is no place that's better than when we're talking about consciousness. It's all God. There is only one life, and that life is God. Therefore, this life on this side of the veil and whatever the next chapter is, or the next book is, or the next library of existence is, it's still all life. But how often do I do the tune-up to say, what do I feel, think, or believe about this paradigm of death? What do I think, feel, believe about this paradigm of loss or lack or whatever it is? If I'm not doing the tune-up, if I'm not assessing what I am truly open to, then I'm open to the paradigms that were handed down to me when I used to be a fundamentalist Christian. Pearly gates, streets of gold. This side is death, this side is life, that side is death, heaven or hell. If I'm not actively and consciously deconstructing, extracting, examining, eliminating, then I'm going to, by default, embody the hand-me-downs of my parents, of former ministers, of the culture in which I grew up, the culture and the society of white supremacist, capitalistic, patriarchal delusion is the consciousness by which the United States of America was created. The soil is still wet with the blood of the indigenous Americans. And if I am not mindful or careful or conscious of, then that paradigm and that consciousness is still what is operating this body, this mind, this heart. By default, if God is all there is, then by default, that which God is infinite spirit, and it's individualizing itself as me. And God is always active, then by default, this body is the very demonstration of spiritual activism in the flesh. It is not possible for me or any of us to be anything else. Question is, what actions am I taking? Am I taking the action of sitting by and waiting? It's getting better. Surely things aren't as bad now in the year 2021 as they were in 1821 or 1721 or 1521. We're in progress. Yes, in many ways we are. But notice our phones are far more advanced than we are when it comes to racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, etc. Our phones and our computers have greater upgrades, more with the times than we are with our laws. What are we really open to? And what are the actions that we are taking to demonstrate exactly what we believe individually and collectively? Because there is no we without me. So what is my role as an individualized expression of God, knowing that there is only one, and every single one of us is the one? There is only one power and one presence, that which is God, infinite goodness itself. God is not omnipresent. God is not omniscient. God is not, what was the first one I did? Omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. God is omnipotence itself and omniscience itself, right? It is the essence of it in expression. But the moment I say God is good, then I've personified God. God is not good. God is goodness in expression. And how that shows up is in my good acts. how I demonstrate the very goodness of the universe in my thinking, in my feeling, in my words, and in the ways in which I show up. Jesus said, don't call me good, but that from which I come is the infinite goodness. Don't assume that I am good because it's me being good, but that which created me, that which is me in expression. That self, because we are from
So we're trying to get Raymont back in. Just give us a moment. We're going to make some technical arrangements to allow him to complete his talk and complete his message. A very powerful message indeed, isn't it? I see all the all the bells were all going. Yes, preach, teach, tell us your wisdom, share your wisdom, our collective wisdom. So give us just a second, please. God is divine goodness. Yes, Gail. Thank you. Yes. I know Shannon is working very quickly, very diligently to bring him back in. Thank you, Shannon Pruitt, so much. Our executive director. Thank you. Standing by. Don't forget this afternoon, following services, Women in Truth are meeting with Reverend Ursula. It's an amazing talk. I hope he can come back in. I think he will. Just give us a moment, please. He's coming back in. Yes. Stand by.
So I'm back now. I have no idea what the last thing I said was. No idea what the last thing I said was. Technology. Oh, yes. So, breathe, breathe. Yes, let us breathe. So let us keep in mind, what are we open to? Because we're always open. So if I say, diabetes runs in my family, am I open to health, wholeness, and well-being for myself? Or am I open to the generational illness that I'm claiming I must have? Am I open to wealth and prosperity and opulence if I'm still referring to money growing on trees and robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? So the idea of, if we're going to talk about being open, just period, be mindful of knowing that we are open to something no matter what. When we do the work of audio but no picture, I don't know why. When we do the work of this thing called law of mind and action, when we do this work, then we are truly stepping into what it means to be divine beings, knowing who and what we are, knowing our power. Because, for example, we have to understand that we are all connected. If nothing else, this pandemic has taught us that even when we are standing 4 feet away from someone else, we are still connected to them, because this thing that we understand to be COVID-19 can still reach us. That means there is no thing called space or separation. We are all intimately connected. There is only one, and that one is God, and therefore it must be intimately and eternally connected to every expression of itself. Right now, I'm not in Atlanta physically, but I am right there with you. And wherever everybody is, California, New York, Canada, I'm with you all, because this thing called Zoom and live streaming and this particular tool is a demonstration of what it means to be open to all of the ways that we can connect via technology. Everything is demonstrating. Everything is demonstrating that we are open to something. So let us pause and do the serious work of asking, pause, breathe. What am I open to? What am I open and willing to embody? Sharon Salzberg, the Buddhist instructor, says, we do not meditate simply to get better at meditating. We meditate so that we become better at living our lives. Everything that we are doing is about living more empowered lives as spirit. So today, let's accept the invitation, and knowing that it's not just done in our minds. It is not simply done based upon how we feel. It is done based upon how we show up as the very embodiment and expression of and beingness of spirit, because when we are there, then we know what is ours to do. Opening is a verb. Opening at the top, opening my arms, opening my heart. Open is a verb. And the moment I am open, I am then called to embrace, to lay hold of, to seize, to embody, to espouse the truth that I know, not just with my mouth, not just with my hands if I sign, but in the very way that I show up as an individualized expression of source. And so we breathe, accepting this. We breathe, allowing this space to be what it is, as we question our minds and our hearts and do the excavation so that we may step more fully into the next phase. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, we don't need to see the whole staircase. Focus on the one that we are on now. And then when we are ready, we step onto the next one. So who do we choose to be, and what do we choose to do that we may demonstrate the vision of a world that works for all? Namaste and greetings, my beloved SLCA family. I love you. Blessings.
Dr. Anderson, thank you so much. I can feel your intelligence, your love, your power. You are an expression of all of us. So thank you so much. Now is our time for grateful giving. As we give, so shall we reap. So give where you are fed. Everywhere that we're spiritually fed, we should be donating generously, because that is the law of circulation, and we're bringing it into our existence. You know what this center does. You know how you feel every time you experience one of the events, the music, everything that comes through this center is quality. So if you really respect that and appreciate that, give generously. You're activating your own laws and principles so you can prosper and continue to do that. And give what you can. Service, tithing. There's so many ways to give on the site. You can give, there might be a song about this, by mail, by text, give on the site regularly. There's a PayPal. I'm a regular contributor, and it just keeps the flow going, So if you want the flow to keep going and to eradicate some of those old beliefs that Dr. Anderson was saying, giving will melt those ideas down, letting go for it to come back. So if you could join me, please, on saying our affirmation. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We see a world that works for everyone.